Anxiety doesn't always whisper. Sometimes it screams inside your chest while you keep a straight face for the world. My name is Maddox. I'm 35 years old. I live in Sycamore Ridge, a quiet neighborhood tucked into the outskirts of Reno, Nevada. From the outside, I had what people call stability. A solid job in operations at a freight company. A rented house that I kept clean. Groceries always stocked. Gas always in the tank. I played the part. Calm, reliable, focused. But inside, I was fighting a war no one saw. It started when I was 15. My dad left one morning and never came back. No note, no goodbye, just silence. My mom shut down emotionally. Her body stayed, but her heart disappeared. From that day forward, I stopped asking for help. I figured if love could vanish that fast, then maybe silence was safer. I became a master of performance. I learned how to look fine. I shook hands firmly. I made eye contact. I even laughed at the right times, but every night, I felt the same thing. That dull pressure behind the ribs, that hum of fear that something was off. Something broken. I was building my life on cracked foundations, pretending the floor wasn't shaking beneath me. Then came the collapse. One Tuesday, out of nowhere, I lost control. My chest locked up in the middle of a team meeting. I couldn't breathe. I excused myself, drove straight home and collapsed on the floor. No tears, just panic. Pure, wordless panic. That was the first time I realized I wasn't just stressed. I was drowning. Quietly, constantly. I stopped sleeping. Stopped eating real meals. I went to work on autopilot, then sat in the parking lot afterwards staring at the steering wheel like it held the answers. Anxiety wasn't new. I just couldn't hide from it anymore. I didn't talk to anyone. No therapy, no calls, just silence. I didn't want pity. I didn't want advice. I wanted the noise to stop. I wanted to feel like a man again, strong, centered, unshakable. But something changed one cold morning in early February. I got up at 4:30 after another night of insomnia. I didn't know what to do with myself, so I just started walking. Hoodie on, no phone, no direction. Just me and the dark sky over Sycamore Ridge. The world was still asleep, the streets were silent. And for the first time in weeks, so was my mind. That walk saved me, not overnight, not dramatically. But that simple act of movement, of choosing to face the cold instead of hide under the weight of fear, became my anchor. Every morning after that, I walked. 10 minutes became 20. 20 became 45. I didn't listen to music. I didn't check the time. I walked until my breathing slowed. Until the fog inside cleared just enough to see the day ahead. That became my habit, my ritual, my survival plan. People started noticing something different. I didn't look stronger. I didn't smile more. But I carried myself like someone who had walked through fire and kept walking anyway. I wasn't healed, but I was fighting, not for anyone else. For myself. And that's when the rebuilding began. I kept walking. I added journaling. I cut caffeine. I stopped talking to people who only knew how to pretend. I created silence around me that wasn't empty. It was protective, sacred. People think healing looks like smiling in the mirror. No. Healing looks like dragging yourself out of bed when everything hurts. It looks like sitting in stillness when your brain is screaming. It looks like saying no to the things that used to define you, and yes to the small habits that no one sees. I became someone I never thought I could be. A man who didn't break when no one clapped. A man who showed up for himself when the world went quiet. Today, I'm not perfect. I still feel the tremors some mornings, but I'm no longer afraid of the silence. I train in it. I live in it. I rebuild in it. When you've faced invisible pain long enough, you stop asking for a way out and start fighting your way through. And that's when you become unbreakable. They say pressure creates diamonds, but no one tells you what it feels like to be the coal first. For years, I lived as a version of myself designed to be accepted. Quiet, Polite, strong, but not too strong. Helpful, but never a burden. I was the man everyone could count on, but no one really knew, not even me. That version died the day I chose to stop performing and started fighting back. My anxiety was never loud. It didn't come with breakdowns or public scenes. It came in the form of self-doubt, overthinking, and pretending everything was under control, while I secretly planned my escape from social events, deadlines, even conversations. I was the guy who smiled during the meeting and screamed inside the car. But that morning walk, that changed the game. I realized something powerful during those silent hours before sunrise. No one was coming to save me. Not my family, not my friends, not some book or motivational quote. It was me against the echo, me against the fear, me against everything I'd buried for the sake of fitting in. And I started to win. Step by step, I began to rebuild. I stopped numbing myself with distractions. I cut out the empty scrolling. I limited small talk with people who drained me. I gave myself permission to feel it all: rage, grief, guilt, and still keep walking. That habit became my weapon. You see, people want epic results without facing epic truths. They want to be unbreakable without breaking first. But the truth is, your healing begins the moment you stop lying to yourself. Mine did. I admitted I felt abandoned. I admitted I had tied my self-worth to productivity. I admitted I was scared I'd never feel peace. But I didn't stop there. I started talking to the man in the mirror like he mattered. I stopped being my own bully. I showed up even when I was exhausted. Especially when I was exhausted. And little by little, that man became someone I respected. I didn't need applause. I needed grit. I didn't need validation. I needed consistency. Now I live a life that feels like mine. Not borrowed, not fake, not filtered through other people's expectations. I wake up before the sun and walk like I'm training for war, because in many ways, I am. Every step reminds me I've survived. Every breath reminds me I've chosen to rebuild instead of retreat. Some people still don't get it. They ask why I don't go out more, why I don't talk much anymore, why I wake up so early. I just smile. Because they don't know what it costs to fight a battle that never announces itself. I've met other men like me, quiet fighters, invisible warriors, men who show up when it's hard, who rebuild their confidence one choice at a time. We don't need to be loud. We just need to be real. If you're reading this, maybe you're like me. Maybe your pain doesn't have a name yet. Maybe your fight has no audience. That's okay. You don't need a stage. You need a reason. Let me give you one. You are not broken. You are in the process of becoming unbreakable. There's no finish line. There's no applause. There's just the quiet promise you make to yourself in the dark. I will not quit on me. That's what makes the difference. That's what creates legacy. The habit that saved me wasn't loud or impressive. It was a simple decision repeated daily. I will move forward, even if it's just one step. That's how you heal. That's how you fight back. That's how you rise. I'm Cole Maddox. And this is the story I'll tell my future son. Not because I was perfect, but because I chose to fight alone when no one knew I was bleeding. And that, my brother, is what makes you powerful.